right away. But oh, let's just give it up. Let's send lots of love and blessings to Together Blessed. Thank you so very much, Jane and Camille. Oh, does everybody feel that? Are you really engaging the blessing that was just given to us? I pray you are. If you are, then do a little thumbs up or a little heart or some kind of yes, I see that coming in now, that recognition. Okay, my friends, so let's go a little further. We've gone this far, haven't we? Let's go a little further tonight and see how much fun we can have, how much adventure we can have with the spirit, with the all good and with the benevolence that is love, that is source. And so if you would like to rub those hands together and generate some goodness, some healthy power, some healthy energy, or however you choose to do that, make sure that you are breathing. Make sure that you feel rooted and that you feel grounded, knowing that we are in a safe place right now, and that this is a time to explore, this is a time to expand, this is a time to push the bounds of reality and to turn away from that which we are often told or what we are taught, and instead to put those God goggles. Some of you might know what I'm referencing, the God goggles that actually expand us into new seasons, into new blessings, into new ways. Yes, because this is how we get to create a just, equitable society and culture and world that is truly filled with balance and fortitude and a positive peace. Yes, yes. And so as we go further now, I'm going to invite you into a place of deep mysticism, and recognize that we are not on a Zoom. We're not on a Zoom service right now even. No, we have an opportunity to go all the way up, to go into the upper room, if you want to call it that, to go into a place that is high frequency, my friends. This is not about any kind of woo-woo stuff right now. No. This is actually claiming what is true, that we must in fact ascend, we must transcend to create, to be creators, to be visionary. So take this seriously, that this is unlike any opportunity that has been put in front of us, that there is something afoot, that there is something happening here right now. What is beckoning you? What has been seeking you? Something has been searching for you. Yes, I'm talking to the person right now. You know who you are. Maybe it is all of us. I think it might be that something has been seeking us, seeking to transform us out of any kind of squalor, out of any kind of soul degradation, out of any kind of impoverished spirit, that there is something that has been seeking our yes, that has been seeking us to claim it. I say healing now. I say claiming this now like no other time in our lives. It is true that the road is challenging, isn't it? These times that we are living in present us with so very much. so much devastation and so much violence. And how are we supposed to navigate? How are we supposed to heal from the personal traumas, the traumas that have happened to you, the traumas that are happening in a collective way on a daily basis? I think tonight it's about coming out of any and all victimhood and any and all perpetrator-like behaviors. And it's about coming into equanimity. And so I invite us all to go up the ladder again, to keep this very high tonight and to not settle into any place of victimhood, not in a way to dishonor what has happened prior or previous, and to not swing into being perpetrators no more. I say no more. And because of this, my friends, to achieve this balance and this equanimity, we are going to need some tools. We are going to need God's help. And on this other side of the veil, we remember that we are not alone in this struggle, are we? That there is, in fact, sitting with us right now, right here, the ancestors and the guides. So we have a lot of help in this. We are up against it, yes, but we have a lot of help. Let us never forget, even if you do not have a Godhead and you are not a theist, doesn't matter here at Roll, because we accept all of that. Something is at the center though, and it may be God for you, however you choose to believe in it. And it may be love, that highest love. And so let's imagine all of us right now. Imagine that we are actually in the live space together. Maybe we are outdoors, and that there is this fire that we are circling around. And in this sacred flames is God. And in this sacred flame is highest love. And so it is here that we reside with each other. Here that we get to take respite. Here that we get to seek refuge. Tonight, my friends, we are in a vision statement. We are in the line of the vision statement that says we do not co-sign, enable, or align with any structure, system, policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. That is where we are at. Still imagining we are with one another at the sacred flame. I'm going to say that again. We do not co-sign. We do not co-sign, enable, or align with any system, structure, or policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. Now, often when there is a vision statement for anything, for any organization, or if you do affirmations, you know that you do not typically write in the negative what you are against, what you don't believe in. You always switch to that affirmative language, yes? That it's much more powerful. However, over the years of Roll being in existence, I realized in 2016 that we needed to have a hard line, that we needed to define a clear no, so that we could come into this place of expansion that I mentioned right off the bat here, to create that which God wants us to create. There are, let's see. There is a way that I believe we have largely been indoctrinated, and that is to be nice. is to play nice, that is to settle, is to compromise, but it is this place of niceness that I want to lift up tonight. And I'm not talking about kindness, and I'm not talking about compassion. I'm talking about the kind of niceness that goes into shadow territories, that goes into a dysfunctional way of relating to someone. It is not authentic, it is not genuine. A kind of niceness that breeds conflict avoidance. What do I mean by that? I mean, say a conflict presents itself, and instead of looking towards that opportunity for more intimacy, that one avoids it, because let's keep it nice. Let's stay nice. Let's get along. There's also another kind of niceness I want to lift up right now, and that is the kind of niceness that engages some form of complicity, some form of enabling, some form of aligning with hatred, oppression, or violence. And this is really dangerous, my friends, because this leads to soul degradation. It leads to a spiritual wickedness where we think that we are apart from each other, where we forget who one another, who we are to one another. I got to take a breath here, because this is a big message tonight, my friends. This is a big message, and I pray that I can get this fully across and fully through for all of us right now. So the spirit of niceness, again, this is not about kindness. This is not about having compassion. Those are wonderful things. This is about living a life that enables, living a life that is complicit to, living a life that turns away from you, yourself, others, and that in fact contributes to said violence. We cannot afford to live like this in any way, in any way. And so this is why I said to you that we must remember to eschew the victim mentality, and to also be very stinkingly aware of any aspects of perpetrator-like or perpetratorhood within us, and come into better balance. And the word that I want to throw out for us to be engaged and aided in this endeavor is actually disharmony. Disharmony. This word came to me last night. I began to, again, do like I always do, which is chew on these talks a little by little in a Lectio Divina fashion. And I kept hearing this word of disharmony. And when I realized, meaning to break away from the usual accord, to break away from what we know, to break away from even agreement, it is here where we become closer to God. There is something in us that becomes dismembered, dismembered, and in fact, aware of potential that we may not have been aware of before. So this is a very, it's a holy call. And this is why I said, stay grounded and stay rooted, because we're going to need it. If we are truly going to create, it's simple. It's like this. If we are truly going to create a revolution of love and a different, radically healed society and culture and world, where everyone is thriving, where people are not living pardon me, where people in marginalized communities are not living in hurt, harm, danger, and under attack, then let's do it all different. Let's go into the spirit of disharmony. And I'm going to go a step further, recognizing that we may, in fact, already be there. That there is so much that is happening that we need to name the systems and the structures and the policies that have made disharmony wreak havoc upon us. Okay. So let me say it like this. You all know, think about a tree. Think about a tree right now. And when you're at the ground level, it's a very different perspective, isn't it? Very different the way you see. And I think oftentimes what we are seeing, our vantage point of the disharmony that is around us, that is within us, call that the systems and the structures and the policies of hatred and oppression and violence. We see from that vantage point. We see from the ground level. We don't even see it from the trunk level of a tree. We see it from the roots. And what the invitation for us tonight is to raise all the way up to the branches and to see from this highest perspective. Because from the branches, my friends, we get a sense of where we need to go and where we need to grow. And it's a very different way of living. It's a very different way of being. It's a very different way of seeing and doing the disharmony. So as much as we can right now on a Zoom, let us lift up to this place of the branches of a tree. And I want to open this up. I want to open this up for you to speak. And from this place, this higher vantage point, witnessing any disharmony, what are the structures? What are the systems? What are the policies that you must say no to tonight? What are the systems? What are the structures? What are the policies of hatred and oppression and violence that you feel compelled and must and called to saying no to tonight? And you feel free to come off mute and name those out loud. And we will just wait in Quaker style.
NRA.
NRA. Thank you. Others, please.
All of them.
All of them? You're naming all of them. Thank you. Thank you, Ella. What are some of the systems, the structures, the policies of hatred, oppression, and violence that you are saying no to? I say no to militarism. I say no to capitalism.
Patriarchy.
Did I hear something?
Patriarchy.
I'm sorry, one more time.
The patriarchy.
Patriarchy, yes, thank you.
Consumerism.
Consumerism, thank you.
Exclusion.
Exclusion, yes.
I
feel
work
called
to,
saying no to making excuses or to settling. I feel called to saying no to apathy, and to being quiet when something needs to be said.
Thank you, Gabriella. I think that was David going to say something?
yeah, I work to say no to, in particular, the way that racism and white supremacy and consumerism and killing our environment interact with one another.
Yes. Thank you, David. Others, let's fill this out even more. What are we saying no to?
Apartheid in all its forms.
Thank you, Rob.
Homelessness.
Homelessness. So with that, poverty. Anyone else want to add something?
I don't know if this applies, but projecting harm that you haven't healed from yet.
One more time, Manny?
Projecting harm that you haven't healed from yet.
Okay. Okay. So you see how important it is to actually define these clear no's, what we are saying no to. And the reason, this was something that I felt for many years, going to many different spiritual circles, that I didn't often hear enough of these emphatic no's, that what we were standing against, and that with that there was a spiritual bypass that I felt was extremely harmful. And so it was different. You go around activist circles and organizing circles, and you would hear about the wonderful work for justice, for transformative justice or restorative justice. However, there was this great cleavage with the church, oftentimes, not all spiritual centers, but this lack and this disconnect from naming what we are against. Now, we won't get there tonight, but next week we do actually talk about what we do stand for and what we do bring, and more of what we believe in, the positive piece, the working towards transformative justice, and bringing a radical love and a compassion. But tonight it is important to be in the spirit of disharmony, and to feel that, and to note this, but not from a place of, oh my God, woe is us or woe is me, and not from a place of punitive judgment or any kind of perpetrator-likeness, as I said, but instead from a place of taking our seat in the world, from raising it high, sitting up high in the branches, and seeing what is true and seeing what is there. Amen? This is imperative in the change-making process, to take this pause, to be definitive in the no, that we may find that clear yes and point towards it. That was the main thing that I really felt, I guess, needed to be said tonight. I want to sprinkle a couple of tools before we close this up. And I recognize that this is a lot of energy to hold, and this isn't my usual talk at all. But we're co-creating together. And it's important to allow and trust that which needs to be healed and that which needs to be spoken to. And it's about, in this place of disharmony and naming things, there's some tricks of the trade, spiritually speaking, that will help us in this journey and will aid us very, very well. There's a way to bring two things in now. There's something called gevura. This is a Hebrew word, gevura, that sits on our left shoulder. This is mystical Judaism now that I'm bringing in. And gevura sits on our left shoulder. And gevura is about, my friends, it's about judgment. I didn't say judgmental. I said it's about judgment. It's about strength. And directly over on our right shoulder is the Hebrew word, and that is hesed. And hesed is compassion. Hesed is a loyal love. Now, if you feel this in your body, and imagine these two things aiding you, this gevura and this judgment, this discernment, and then this very royal compassion, this very highest love, compassion. There is a way that we can in fact come into greater alignment and greater balance, even in the midst of disharmony, even in the midst of despair, even in the midst of all the chaos and the violence. So feel this now, my friends. Be very somatic about this experience right now. That there is in fact resting upon all of us on the left shoulder, embracing us, this place of judgment that is good. This is the saying no. This is saying no, no. No more militarism, no more capitalism, no more racism, no more speciesism, no more ableism, no more ageism. Saying no to these things and following it over and bringing in on the right shoulder this highest compassion to balance us out. These tools and these tricks can in fact aid us along our way every single day as we wake up, as we plow through, as we move forward, when we are feeling tired, when we're feeling fatigued. And it's very important to achieve this balance right now. All too often we stay at lower levels of consciousness and a lower level of awareness. And it really drags us down. It really degrades us. Notice how I just went into this posture almost without, I'm not even really having to try. But when we recognize that we are here, that we are made in this Imago Dei, all of us, and we remember the support of this gevura and this hesed, this place of strength and this place of compassion. This, in fact, yes, it allows us to keep going another day, to keep going through all of the tumult, through all of the chaos, yes, through all of this disharmony. And you know what? To meet the disharmony from a place of highest good, to meet it from that place rather than the lower level. Oh gosh, we can't keep going. It's never going to change. It's always been like this. People always keep killing each other. We're never going to get our way out of this. Oh, we're going back to normal. No, no, no. Instead, we amplify because we must. Because as revolutionaries of love, this is what we are committed to. We are committed to our highest good. We are committed to our healing. We are committed to having a transformative experience of both the heart and of the mind. So make no mistake, this tonight is not just about some feel-good business here, my friends. This is about some heart conversation or some heart talk. If it's touching you in your heart, fantastic. But this is also about upper level stuff. So the invitation, let me be clear now, the invitation, and I know I kind of went like this tonight maybe even more. Just do with it what you will. The invitation is for us to be very aware that we are on a training ground. We have to take our call seriously. We are all called, and we have to take this training very seriously. And when we need help, if you don't even remember Gevura and Ased, remember that which you love. Remember the great expanse of the universe. Remember, maybe when you were a very small child, remember looking up at the night sky and wondering, gosh, what's out there? Remember the places of joy that give you life. Remember the places of deep remembrance that feed your soul. Yes, we're not alone. We're not alone. We took the time to be here tonight. Some of you we haven't seen in a while. Some of you are brand new. And the prayer is always really the same, isn't it? The prayer is always to heal, that we may shift, that we can integrate as much as possible spiritually in all ways and be the change agents in the world that love has chosen us to be. My friends, this is the revolution of love, and I welcome you to it. And I invite you to practice throughout this week something that you heard here tonight, even if it's just a morsel. Practice it, chew on it, take it seriously, take the soul food and bring it to someone else. This is the prayer. This is the call. This is the charge. Blessings to you this day and always.